growth. They see the change, the tone, but they couldn't handle that. Nope, they couldn't handle that.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be going over Pluto in the houses, okay? Pluto in the houses, and in this episode we're going to be talking about having Pluto in your first house, okay? Pluto in the first house. And before we get into that, you guys know I have to remind you to check out my music. If you enjoyed the little snippet of music at the beginning of this music video, that's my new single, Can't Take the Throne. Definitely check it out here on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. Also, follow me on TikTok, okay? My name is Sam_Dolphin on TikTok. You can follow me there. And also, if you want a reading, you could book a reading with me at my email, samastroreadings@gmail.com, samastroreadings@gmail.com, and we could go forward with that. So getting back into Pluto in the first house, okay? And the first thing I can say about Pluto in the first house is that Pluto in the first house people have a very mysterious, dark, and almost even like intimidating aura about them, okay? When we talk about our first house, we talk about our surface persona and sort of like the energy, well, not sort of, but the energy that people first see or feel or gravitate towards you when you're here. Okay, so the first house deals with the energy that people first come across when they deal with you, okay? Your surface persona, okay? So it's definitely like your aura and the energy, okay? The energy of your presence, how the vibe that people get when they first see you. So it could be very dark and intense, okay? A mysterious type of aura, okay? Your type of energy, your presence, people kind of see you as mysterious, as dark, okay? And this energy can make people very curious about you. It can make people also kind of intimidated by you or want to be away from you because of all that kind of dark, intense energy. People not really sure of you. You can come off even standoffish, but your presence and your aura and your energy at surface level is very intense, very dark, and very mysterious, and it can cause a lot of, again, curiosity and attraction, or it can cause people to really stay away from you because, you know, you're like kind of intimidating. You give kind of like a dark vibe, okay? But with this, I can also say that Pluto in first house people are also very reserved, okay, in a sense, okay? At least publicly or when you first get to see them, okay? Depending on their chart, they can pop out with other personalities, but speaking about Pluto in the first house, they can be very reserved, okay, and put to themselves, okay? So when they come out into the public or group of people, you know, they're the ones kind of like in the back chilling, not saying anything and kind of observing people. This is definitely Pluto in first house people, okay? Because again, first house deals with our public persona, okay? What we see on the surface level, so it has a lot to do with how we are publicly and how we interact with people and how we present ourselves. So you definitely have a more reserved approach when you have Pluto in the first house, okay? And this reservation, this sort of reserved energy can look like they're standoffish and don't want to deal with people, and that could definitely be the case. But also, there's a lot of energy that Pluto in first house people pick up that they kind of want to shield themselves from. Okay, and that leads me to my third point with Pluto in the first house people is that these people are super intuitive, okay? Empathic, okay? Even emotional, okay? They have a lot of that energy, all right? So Pluto rules Scorpio, it rules a water sign. It's very watery. So these people are naturally intuitive. When you have Pluto in the first house, you can feel how other people are feeling. Okay, you can tune into people's emotional energies and feelings and emotions and feel people out. Okay, so pigging back to what I said about Pluto in first house people being kind of reserved because they want to reserve their energy. Well, again, with Pluto here in the first house, very super empathic. They pick up a lot of people's energies, a lot of people's feelings, a lot of people's vibes. So naturally, when you're picking up a lot of people's energy, this could be like walking into a room and feeling a lot of energy. It could be overwhelming, okay? Because you're picking up a lot of information and vibes. So it can make you take a step back more, and instead of being so assertive, okay, you kind of Pluto first house people kind of step back, okay, because they're already receiving lots of energy and they can kind of observe people. Okay, Pluto is very emotional, very intuitive, just like the moon, just like Neptune. But with Pluto, Pluto has that very intense attitude, okay, rules Scorpio, so there's an intensity. Okay, so I like to say a lot of times with Pluto in the first house people, they have a very initiative approach to their feelings and emotions. So a lot of times they like to really intentionally use their intuitive abilities. So they're the type of people, again, like I said, they're reserved, but they're also reading people. So like if they go into, again, a room full of people, if Pluto in first house person a lot of times can step back and just observe people and just read people's emotions and intentions and vibes, and get sort of like an intuition about what these people are about or how they're feeling or their intentions and motives, their energy in general. So a very big thing with Pluto in first house people, yes, they can be reserved, but it's because, again, they're taking in so much emotional energy. They're picking up so many vibes. It can be very intense, and it can result into a Pluto first house person to fall back and be more of a detective, be more of an observer of energy, and kind of like fish people out. A very big thing with Pluto in first house people. Okay, very intuitive, but very intentional, and very intentional with their intuition. So they're using their intuition to kind of read people out, see if people are real or fake, what's their true vibe. You know, imagine going into a room and people are smiling, saying hi at you, but while they're saying hi and smiling at you, you're picking up emotions that they feel a certain way about you, okay? You know, they're saying hi, but you're picking up that they have like a nasty vibe, or they don't mean what they're saying. This is Pluto in the first house people. This is what being intuitive is. This is why water signs and water planets and water energy, you know, they tend to be conservative because they don't trust people, okay? They're the people that, you know, they see you saying hi to them, but they can also feel and sense your true energy. And if it doesn't match with what you're presenting, it can make them, you know, fall back from you, make you feel like you're fake, they can feel like they can't trust you, they can feel like a lot of people are phony. So Pluto in first house people, they see right through people a lot, and because of this they can see the contradictions. So socially and publicly, and how they represent themselves, they tend to be more reserved, okay? They fall back and they observe people and read people and see if people are really true and genuine to their energy, okay? That's just the gift of Pluto, okay? When you're able to fall in tune with other people and feel other people's vibes and emotions, you can see the deeper energy, the deeper feelings of people, and whether it matches up with what they're presenting. And that's why Pluto in first house people can seek out who are the fake and who are the real. And again, it does give them that more reserved approach publicly, okay? Also, with Pluto in the first house, your physical features can be dark, okay? So, and dark, that's very like subjective, but what I mean is that you could have a sort of intensity with your physical features. Maybe your face, maybe you have a very serious face naturally. Okay, maybe your eyes are very deep. Maybe when people look into your eyes, they can see like a very intense, like, you can have like a very intense stare, you know, very intense eyes, very intense physical features. Or maybe, you know, maybe it's not even your physical features. Maybe it's the way you dress up, the way you style yourself, the way you present yourself. Again, our first house is our surface persona. It's our physical bodies, and it's our identity. It's our image. So again, your physical features, how you look, can be very dark, very intense, very mysterious type of look, okay? A very serious look, okay? Or if it's not in your physical features, it could be just in the way that you dress, the way that you present yourself. You wear very dark colors, okay? This can even be with Pluto in first house people who like to wear lots of tattoos, maybe piercings. And this is because, again, Pluto is very intense. Pluto deals with intense emotional energy, even traumatic energy. So your style could be of that theme of intensity, of something dramatic, something dark. So, you know, with tattoos can be intense in the sense that they're permanently on you. So, you know, that choice, that decision to even have a tattoo is one of something that's serious, something that's intense, something that you want to put in your body for the rest of your life. Maybe it's something that means something very deep to you emotionally. Okay, piercings, again, you know, the piercing of your body, you know, yes, it could be stylistic, but it could be intense in the sense that sometimes a lot of piercings can look painful. Okay, again, Pluto is all about intensity, emotional trauma, all those types of things. So people with this placement, they could just go for the more intense looks, the darker looks, you know, that emo type of look, wearing lots of dark colors, wearing moody type of colors, wearing things that are intense, like lots of tattoos, that, you know, that are deep, that are meaningful to you, lots of piercings, a very intense kind of look. So definitely a big thing with Pluto in the first house people. These people are going to like to have a dark, dramatic, or very mysterious look. It could be their features as well too, your physical features, literally how you look. Or it could just be in the way that you present yourself, your style, okay, your identity. You're definitely going to have that mysterious, dark type of energy. Also, with Pluto in the first house, you have a very transformative body, I like to say. And what I mean by that is that a lot of your physical body can transform a lot. Pluto is all about transformation, okay? You go through your darkest, deepest, you know, fears, okay? Emotional trauma, things that are so intense that cause you to change. Okay, a lot of things that cause us to change in our life are traumatic things, traumatic events, things that penetrate us so deeply, so emotionally, that gives us no choice but to change, but to do something. Okay, and that's transformation. So when we talk about having Pluto here in the first house deals with our physical body. So Pluto being the planet of transformation, a lot of our transformations are being taken place in our physical body. So people with Pluto in the first house, they can go through many physical body changes. I actually, one of my brothers, they actually have Pluto in the first house, and he went through lots of like changes. Like at one point of his life, he was like chubby. Then at another point of his life, he was like very like athletic, almost like lean, model type of body. Then he became more stocky. So, and I realized that he actually, my brother had Pluto in the first house. And again, with Pluto being here, it causes transformation. So, and we're talking about the first house, so the transformations are being taken place on a physical level. So your body is just changing all the time. Like, you know, for this many amount of years, maybe if you're in elementary days, you were like a chubby kid, and then once you went through puberty, you were like, I don't know, tall and athletic, and then you get older and you get more stocky, and then maybe a crazy event happens that causes you to lose lots of weight, or then you start, you know, you go through maybe an event where you felt vulnerable, and then now you want to put on lots of weight and muscle, so then now you have a bodybuilder type of body, or something can happen to you emotionally that stresses you out, that makes you sick, and then physically you look sick. Like, there are so many transformations that happen with you physically, because again, Pluto is the planet of transformation, it's change, and these emotional triggers and trauma trigger you physically. Again, we're talking about the first house, Pluto being in the first house, so those transformations are being taken place physically, and you're gonna see these people bodies morph. Okay, if they have going through a certain different event or time period in their life, their body is going to reflect that, their body's going to change, you know. So it's very interesting. Like I said, my brother, he had lots of physical changes in his body, like literally. So depending on what time and era you're in your life, it'll call for, you know, this transformation, this physical transformation. So, you know, definitely a thing with Pluto in the first house. Also, speaking of physical transformations, Pluto in the first house people can even go through like surgery, transforming in that way. you know, doing physical alterations to your body, whether it be cosmetic surgery, plastic surgery, whatever it is. That's another form of transformation, transforming the physical body. So definitely a huge theme here with the transformations, physically, your identity, your image, even the way that you dress and the way you style yourself, even if it isn't physically, maybe your style changes drastically. You know, these transformations on an image level are definitely a big theme with Pluto in the first house. Also, with Pluto in the first house, this can manifest a very sexual person, lots of sexual energy, okay? Pluto is a very sexual energy. Pluto deals with sex on the deepest form in terms of soul transformation, soul bonding. So the type of sexual energy that attaches you to another person, that changes you emotionally, you know, that type of deep experience with sex. This is Pluto. So when you put it in the first house, you have to understand the first house is ruled by Aries. Again, dealing with our physical body, our chemistry. That is also sexual energy as well. So Pluto in first house people are very sexual. They have a very sexual energy, a very sexual aura. Okay, even if they're not even aware of it. Okay, because Pluto is here in the first house, you're putting that energy on the surface. So again, not only can they have a dark and mysterious image, but they can have a very sexual image. Okay, so maybe in the way that they dress, it could be very sexual. Maybe just their energy. Okay, like I said, just your aura, the energy that you're spilling out can be very sexual. People can gravitate a very sexual energy from you. Okay, you can have a very intense sexuality. Okay, people can be getting this like sexual aura from you because there's a lot of sexual energy within you, and it's kind of like spilling out into your aura. You know, the first house, the surface. You know, so it's right there in the surface. So that energy is big, and there's a lot of intensity here. Like I said, when you're mixing the first house, your physical body, which deals with your biology, adrenaline, and you're mixing this with Pluto, the sexual energy, getting lots of sexual energy here. So people here not only have a sexual aura and attract sexual energy, but they're expressing this. They're oozing out of sexual energy because of who they are, what they identify with. Okay, so there could be a lot of intense sexuality with this placement. People like this are very sexual. They can express themselves very sexually, and they could just have lots of pent-up sexual energy. Okay, a lot of that energy is within their body. Okay, it's like your design. I really mean that. Like, you know, when we talk about the first house, you're talking about your physical design. Okay, so sexuality here is part of your physical design. It's part of your energy. And it's so a part of it physically that it oozes out. It oozes out and people can sense it. And it's not even so intentional all the time. It could be. Pluto in the first house people, they could, like I said, they could dress very sexually and express themselves that way. But it could just be, again, you're just your energy and what you're oozing out on like your aura. You know, because there's so much sexual energy going within you, it's so much a part of your biology and your makeup. You're naturally very sexual. That energy is literally, like I said, oozing out of you, so people can sense it. It doesn't have to be so intentional. It doesn't have to be so direct. You know, Pluto is really sneaky. It's more subliminal. You know, it's shadowy. So again, it's like mysterious. This is the type of sexual energy that you don't have to try so hard. People just naturally feel it, naturally gravitate towards it. And again, it's mysterious. It kind of makes people curious about you. It's like, you know, this person's kind of giving me these vibes, and I'm kind of picking it up, and I don't know why, but I feel it, and it's very hot and sexual. It's like that. It's a mysterious sexuality. But it can make you very seductive, Pluto in first house people. It can make you very seductive. You can attract a lot of people sexually, and vice versa, you know, putting out a lot of sexual energy. So yes, be very mindful of that. Pluto in the first house is a very sexual person. Your sexuality is literally in your body, in your biology. It like oozes out of you. You are sex in a sense. So also, speaking of that, Pluto in the first house people can have very tense energy, like adrenaline. Okay, I like to say that these people can be very like have lots of pent up energy. Pluto is like kind of like that boiling water. You know how water starts boiling, starts steaming up, and then, you know, before it explodes. Like that is Pluto. It's like a lot of pent up energy. Okay, so when we talk about this, we're talking about the first house. This is our body. So literally in your physical body, like Pluto in first house people, you guys have lots of intensity, lots of pent up energy. It's like you guys have a lot of energy that's waiting to explode, and people can kind of feel that heat, that kind of that pent up energy. And this can lead into like major explosions and like anger episodes, like anger, like explosions, like just lashing out. You know, so definitely be mindful of that, because having a lot of this pent up energy, it's good for like, it could be good for like athletics. It could be good for just simple basic motivation. Okay, there's a lot of energy and motivation with Pluto in the first house. So, you know, you're taking all that pent up energy, you're putting it into your physical body. You know, your body is very tense. You know, these are people who are like, you can kind of sense that they have lots of tense energy. You know, that's again that mysteriousness. That's that kind of like Pluto in first house person. You want to know what's going on. Like, I feel some intensity, but these intensities are real. They can explode. Anger, okay, explosions. You know, having a whole dramatic episode is very Pluto in the first house. Okay, there's a lot of potential for this. Okay, because again, a lot of that pent up energy is in your physical body. You know, it's there, so you feel it. It's who you are. So, you know, be careful getting a Pluto in first house person mad. Okay, because like I said, they can explode. Okay, and they can explode a lot because their energy, all that pent up emotional energy, is in their physical body. And when we talk about our physical body, we talk about what's physical, what's active, what is reality. So they can really push out this anger, this energy, this pent up anger, and it could be explosive. Okay, they could really lash out. They could be if worse comes to worse, like in the worst scenarios, it could be physical violence. You know, with all that pent up emotional energy and all of it being in your physical body, it can lead to like fighting and stuff like that. Like anger and explosions can be another element to Pluto in the first house. Okay, so watch your tempers, watch your emotional energy, because like I said, you have a lot of pent up energy, and it's not just sexual. It could be anger and emotional and just intense. So be careful if you know, be careful with these people, because they could really explode on you, is basically what I'm saying. And Pluto in the first house people, also be aware of your emotional energy, because it's again in the first house, so it's really attached to your body, your physical energy levels and everything. So like I said, you guys could use this for motivation. This could be good for like working out and wanting to like use all this pent up energy to like train and get better physically, or you can literally be exploding, getting mad at people, or you know, having like just episodes, you know. So definitely something to be mindful of, like your temperament, okay, with Pluto in the first house. Also, with Pluto in the first house, our first house deals with our identity and approach and how we see life. And with Pluto being here, Pluto being such a dark energy, deals with emotional trauma, deals with our biggest transformations, facing our biggest fears, even depression. A lot of your outlook and the way you see the world could be in this very dark lens, okay? Pluto and first house people are very intense. They can have lots of intense experiences. And that's why they have this energy in their first house, because this is their outlook in the world. They see the world in a dark way. They see it in the most intense way. They like to get to the point, get to the core of issues, get to the dark, the dirty laundry, the dinginess. They like to get to the things that aren't so glamorous, the ugly. They see the world like black and white. They see the darkest of the dark. They see the depths. They understand, you know, death and all those types of deep energies. So with that being said, like Pluto first house people, they can have a very dark personality, okay? So not only is like their aura and their image and like their surface persona, like the way you look at them is dark, but just their personality, because that's how they identify with the world. They like to look into the shadows, look into the darker things in life, the darker realities that happen in life. They like to look at things in depth. They're very serious type of people, okay? They're not all about just like the jokes and like the happiness. Like they like seriousness, they like intensity, okay? They like to see the real you. Again, these are the type of people, they don't care how smiling, happy you are on the outside. They will like to read you and see who you really are, what you're really trying to be. They don't like the phoniness, the fakeness. So their identities are very serious, you know? They like to look for things in depth. They like to look at the core of things. They like to look at dark realities and the dark things that happen in this world. They're all about like, world isn't all colors and butterflies and rainbows. There's also deepness, there's also depth, there's also sad situations, sad realities, intense realities, dark realities, all these taboo realities. So if you have Pluto in the first house, you're going to identify with things like that, okay? You're going to have kind of like a Scorpio personality, okay? So definitely very important because it goes with, again, their identity, their persona, and how they approach life. So that is Pluto in the first house. I hope you guys enjoyed that, okay? Very intense, deep, dark, sexual. You know, these people are very, like, mysterious. You want to know who they are. You know, they're kind of seductive. They're sexual. They're intense. They're deep. They're reserved. Very strong type of personality and energy, and very intuitive, super intuitive, okay? You know, don't think that these people don't have things going on. You know, they're very into, you know, relationships and connecting with people, but they want to see the realness of not just people, but the world and what it's really about, okay? And they're not afraid of the darkness of reality and the things that aren't so glamorous, okay? So this is Pluto in the first house. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, you could book a reading with me. I do astro readings as well as tarot. All you have to do is email me at my astrology email. It's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And we could go forward with that. Also, check out my music, okay? All my music and videos, all will be in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.